It was an expectation that you would do your absolute best educationally, and that you were expected to go on to college. As my father would tell us back then, you're part of the talented 10th. You have the privilege to go on to higher education, but you also have the responsibility to give back to your people.
Karen Schuster Webb was born in Virginia but grew up in Nashville, the daughter of a college professor and a high school guidance counselor. At 16, she came to Indiana University to study Spanish. She had been drawn, like many others, by the beauty of the campus, but toward the end of her first semester, that allure was starting to fade.
Going to Indiana University in the 60s was a challenge in terms of perceptions that people had. Professors would say things to you that they wouldn't say now.
Then, one cold winter day, Karen had a chance encounter with Chancellor Herman B. Wells.
He came up to me and he introduced himself and he said, "How do you like Indiana University?" I said, "I don't." And I told my parents I wanted to come home, but they told me they'd paid tuition, I had to stay.
Wells invited her to his office the following day, and at that meeting informed Karen that he'd looked into her situation. He apologized for the treatment she'd received and offered her a new advisor and an adjusted class schedule.
It didn't stop the tough times, but it made me say, okay, I'll stay. There may be other challenges down the road, but those challenges may come from people who aren't representing the core of the university.
I don't think that interaction was unique for Karen in terms of who she is and how she goes about living her life. She's often going to say things to you that you don't want to hear, and it's one of the things I love about her.
After graduating from Indiana University, Karen moved to Northern Virginia to teach high school Spanish. Inspired by Dr. Beverly Hartford, she returned to IU for her master's, and following that, took a position at Coppin State. A few years later, she returned to IU once again to pursue her doctorate, and with that in hand, Karen embarked on a truly remarkable career in higher education. First at Howard University, followed by the University of Kentucky, and then Southern University. While at Southern, Karen received a call from Alliant International University in California. They were looking to expand and wanted her to develop a new school of education. It would be a massive undertaking, but Karen's time at IU as a master's student had prepared her for the challenge.
The first class that I had with Dr. Harry Gradman as a master's degree student, he said, by the time you finish this program, you'll be able to start an English for speakers of other languages program anywhere in the world, with money, without money, with textbooks, without textbooks. And he was absolutely right. So starting a school of education from scratch, I can do this.
She didn't back down. I mean, many of us, including myself, have taken jobs at places that we have years and years and years of tradition and experience to build on. But to build something from scratch, I think that really took quite a bit.
That speaks to her perseverance. That speaks to her never giving up. Karen has and does make a difference with her presence. Wherever she goes, she just has to show up. And whether she's with one person or whether she's with a small group or whether she's with 1,000 people, she shows up.
Karen was at Alliant for 13 years.
And in the 13 years, we grew from 5 students to over 1,200.
Following her time at Alliant, Karen was named Midwest President of Antioch College. And following a restructuring at Antioch, she moved to her current position as president of Union Institute and University, a school committed to providing educational opportunities to adult learners.
At Union, we've been working with that population since 1964. That is the centerpiece in terms of our student body.
And throughout the years, Karen has remained connected and committed to her alma mater. Decades ago, she partnered with Christine Bennett to develop the school's first multicultural curriculum. More recently, she's offered expertise and advice as a member of the Dean's Advisory Council.
And she is not just someone who shows up to the meeting and contributes, but she's someone who checks in with me periodically and says, "What do you need? How can I help you?" And so she's a wonderful alum, deeply committed to IU and the School of Education, and always willing to do whatever is needed. Karen is a worthy recipient of the Distinguished Alumni Service Award because she spent her life dedicated to education and serving students. Everything that Karen does is around service. Service to the state, service to her university, and service to the students that she has served in a multiple of different roles.
More than 60% of the college attendees are female, but we're really not there in terms of higher ed administration. And I think she has really accomplished something that few others have. So we're very proud of her.
I think her contribution is just by her presence, showing that against all odds, as a black person in the United States, we can do just about anything that we want to do. It's possible.
I was over the moon when I got the news. I mean, I was dancing around a little circle and calling friends who were LASA recipients. And just, for me personally, of course, my parents, who were my foundation, my family, my children, Ramona and Wallace, who made that journey with me, my late husband. The Applied Linguistics Department, the School of Education, dear friends here that I have been privileged to stay in touch with. I just think about the Langston Hughes poem, "Dreams, hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly." And so that community of support and love and encouragement kept me from breaking my wings and allowed me to fly.